Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Retro Pop Planet. So I recently returned from New York City. I took a long weekend trip there with my brother, and we really just wanted to get out of town for a couple days and go see the holiday decorations and just kind of gallivant around the city for a few. So one of the biggest challenges about going to a city like New York is that depending on the day that you go, it can be very, very expensive to find accommodations. We have a bus that we can take from the Washington, D.C. area where I live up to New York. It's about 4.5 hours depending on traffic, depending on if you get stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel and for how long. And it goes from one of our local metro stations, and it's about $28 to $30 each way. So round trip, it was about $65. If you try to go on the weekend, it's really gonna be expensive to find a hotel room in New York City. However, one of the things that I discovered is that by leaving on a Sunday and staying for 2 nights, it can actually be really affordable. One of the things I've done years ago on this channel when I used to travel a lot for work is I would do these hotel room reviews. Traveling solo or even with one other person can be challenging. It's all hard to find accommodations that can fit both people. One of the other things you want to look for in a really huge city like New York, you want to try to find a reasonably priced place, because for me, I'm hardly ever in the hotel. You also don't want to be too far outside of the city and sacrifice basically commuting times for price if you're staying in like a place like Jersey or even in one of the outer boroughs. Most people think I'm crazy, but I actually like to stay near Times Square for a couple different reasons. Mainly, most of the stuff that I like to go to is near Times Square, and it's usually within walking distance. Plus, if I'm traveling to a city like New York, I want to be where all the action is, and I don't want to have to hop on a metro or sit for hours in a cab just to get to the main locations. Plus, the Times Square subway station is one of the largest, and you can pretty much hit any one of the lines from the Times Square substation. I really enjoy the experience of Capsule Hotels, or sort of like smaller, tiny living. So researching this trip, I found a newer hotel. You see these shows all the time, you know, tiny living New York City. Well, in a city like New York where square footage is super pricey, these capsule hotels can tend to be kind of appealing. It's not the Japanese style capsule hotel where you're literally one person in a small encapsulated space. It's actually a full functional room. The last couple times I've been in New York City, I was traveling solo, but since I had my brother with me, one of the things that I discovered is that in order to get a room that has 2 beds, not 1 bed, 2 beds, you actually have to list yourself as 4 people, and I believe you also have to pay accordingly. When you list yourself as 2 people, the options that usually come up through the various sites like Expedia and Travelocity are solo beds, like a queen or a king in a small room for just 2 people. Now, I have stayed in capsule hotels before, and I think they're great. I have a video that I'll link at the end from a Yotel, which was pretty new at the time that I stayed there. I was on a work conference, and it was the Amsterdam Schiphol airport. That was a really fun experience, and it was like 60 euros a night. But I found this hotel, Pod Times Square, which is right at West 42nd Street, about 2 blocks from Times Square itself, and also about 2 blocks from the Times Square Metro, and a block over from the Port Authority Terminal. The really great thing about this hotel is that we each had individual beds. Now, they are bunk beds, and I knew that going into it, but I also knew that it had a dedicated bathroom with a shower. You're not sharing a shower or a restroom down the hall with a bunch of people on your floor. And having the individual bed option was appealing. So our bus arrived around 12:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. And even though our check-in time wasn't until 3 o'clock, they actually were able to get us in early. That's another bonus point. We were actually able to get our stuff in and store our bags and then just immediately got out into the city. this key card system was really awkward. It was really kind of hard to figure out exactly when to push the button and when to use your key card.
All right, here we go. We're gonna do first room reaction. It's tiny. They got 2 bunk beds. Each one has a television. And the bathroom. And toilet and shower. Got this view. You got the Empire State Building. Awesome. A bunch of coat racks or coat hooks. That's a few hangers. But for the amount of time that we're actually going to be in this room, for the value and the location, you also have a safe deposit box, clock and phone. What's your first reaction?
It's small. It's like college.
So one thing to note is it does have a headphone jack, so each person can watch something else, but you have to have one of these types of plugs. It's also got HDMI and 2 USB ports. I don't know what this is. Lights? So like a small reading light. But you also have a task light, which is cool, that comes on once you pull it out from the slot. More power ports, and then your remote.
Now, even though the weather was very balmy and mild while we were in New York, I guess the high wind mean that they had actually closed off their outdoor space. They actually have a space where you can sit outside and sit on your Wi-Fi in the nice weather. The other thing that is great is we get a 20% off coupon for the local restaurant, which is actually located in the hotel. We never actually ate there, but it is a full restaurant. We were actually able to get drinks one night before happy hour before we actually went out to go eat. Now, the other awesome thing is, did I mention the location? The location is fantastic for this hotel, especially if you did the amount of walking that we did. One of the days we walked, we did 33,000 steps. That works out to be about 16 or 17 miles. So it was nice to have a hotel that was right in the heart of the city that we could easily get back to. The location was great. I felt super safe. And then one of the really awesome things is, our bus ride back on Tuesday was not until 5 p.m. Checkout was at noon. Once you check out, there is no problem. They were able to hold our bags. They gave us a little luggage tag and we left our bags with them the rest of the day. We came back around 4 o'clock, collected our stuff, and then made our way the 8 blocks to the bus depot. That's right, it was only 8 blocks to the bus stop. So again, just an incredible location. Now, do I have any gripes about the hotel? A few, nothing major. However, the bathroom door, for whatever reason, did not quite close all the way, so you didn't get the ultimate level of privacy. There is also not a refrigerator. Drinks can tend to be expensive at restaurants in New York City. So if you're looking to pregame, or even if you're looking for a place to put sodas and waters, there is not a refrigerator in the room. But ultimately, the best part of it is the price. And I spent about $360 for 2 nights, and that also includes the city tax. And then the view was incredible. Just being able to look out your window at night and see the grand Empire State Building off in the distance was awesome. So anyway, guys, I hope you like my short review. If you do, please leave me a comment. Please give it a like. Likes always help the channel. And if you want to see where I go next, please hit that subscribe button. This is first video in a series that I'm going to be doing in New York City. Stay tuned because they're only going to get more and more exciting. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next time.